Good morning, all present. Am I audible to all? Yes, can you confirm? Am I audible to all? Yes, dear participants, am I audible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. I, Dr. Bindu Dogra, on behalf of the Equal Opportunity Cell and Cell, extends a warm welcome to the August gathering at the virtual courts of Meherchand College in Chandigarh. I extend special welcome to our eminent speakers, Mr. Vivek Atrey, Mr. Vipin Pabbi, and convener of the Equal Opportunity Society. Visible also you? Am I visible?
The voice is breaking. Let me just check.
Okay. Am I visible also?
Ma'am, your camera is off.
Am I visible to all of you? Am I audible also?
Ma'am, you're audible, but your camera is off.
Okay, I'm trying to switch it on, but I think there is some technical issue. Just give us a minute. Just give us a minute to rectify it. Okay. Rekha ma'am, is it visible? इधर से देखो, इधर तो नहीं आ रहा। Dear participants, just give us a minute.
No, please again.
Thank you very much, sir. नहीं ऐसी कर लो।
आपकी फोटो चल रही है? फोटो आ रही है आपकी?
नहीं
ये मैं तो इसको तेरा साथ में माइक बंद कर और आप विजिबल नहीं हो ना।
Am I visible and audible to all of you?
Yes, please. Now you are. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, and I am extremely sorry, and I apologize to our eminent speakers for the delay. There was some technical delay, and that's why we have this kind of technical glitch. So first of all, I just want to welcome you. Good morning to all. I, Dr. Bindu Dogra, on behalf of Equal Opportunity Cell and Foreign Student Cell, extends a warm welcome to the August gathering at the virtual portals of Meherchand Mahajan DAV College for Women, Chandigarh. I extend warm and special welcome to our eminent speakers, Mr. Vivek Atrey, Mr. Vipin Pabe, and convener of Equal Opportunity Cell, Mrs. Suman Mahajan. Ladies and gentlemen, our college is a premier institution of higher education for women in the region. This college is a living tribute to the memory of a noted legal luminary and educationist, Justice Meherchand Mahajan, former Chief Justice of India. Since its inception in 1986, the college has completed its 52 glorious years decorated with meritorious achievements in every field of learning. No wonder every year our girls create history in the arena of academics and cultural activities for the world to emulate. Along with academic excellence, our sportswomen have bagged Women's Sports Journal Efficiency Shield for a record 39 times and made their mark at both national and international arenas. The college has been ranked among the top institutions of the country by national dailies and popular magazines such as India Today, The Week, and The Tribune. The college has the distinction of being the cleanest college, a residential category, in the Swachhata ranking of MHRD, Government of India. It was recreated with a grade A by NAC and awarded third rank in India in the citizen-led initiative by the Ministry of Housing Affairs in the prestigious Swachhata Sarvekshan 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, as an institution, we are devoted to the task of nurturing our students in an environment that offers them the space to explore their inner potential in harmony with the contemporary world. Keeping in view this vision, today we have organized this webinar on the topic Motivating the Motivators in association with Suvichar, a forum for thought leaders. Dear participants, we are living in a fluctuating times, and often we face emotional distress and lack of enthusiasm to continue. Such situations can hamper our performance and growth. It's a proven fact that motivation is a vital resource that allows us to adapt, function productively, and maintain well-being in the face of adversity. So this webinar has been planned out not only to motivate you, but to make you leaders in this field. It is our privilege that today we have amongst us two dynamic personalities, Mr. Vivek Atrey and Mr. Vipin Pabe. They have done exemplary work in their respective professions and are persistently working and motivating the younger generation. So it's our privilege to have both of you, sir. Now, may I introduce you all to our first distinguished speaker, Mr. Vivek Atrey, an ex-Indian Administrative Service officer, an author, a motivational speaker, and head Chandigarh Chapter Public Relations Council of India. Mr. Atrey has followed a very unconventional path by following his passion and resigned from his coveted position as an Indian civil servant, which he held with unparalleled commitment and dedication for 25 years. He, as Director Technical Education UT Chandigarh, was instrumental in establishing the Rajiv Gandhi Information Technology Park. He is currently pursuing his passion for speaking and writing as a full-time profession. Sir has authored 3 books titled Facing Success Within, Move On Bunny, and Dubeji Bounces Back. As a TEDx speaker, he continues to inspire people, and some of his most liked followed talks are read a book, write a book, winning at Shuren University of Biotechnology and Management Sciences. He continues writing and speaking on various topics at various media platforms on the topics relevant to the present times. Mr. Atrey has consistently contributed to the cause of empowerment through education by organizing numerous workshops for aspiring academic leaders. So, we are really honored and elated to have a personality of your stature with us, and I welcome you with a virtual bouquet of respect and admiration. And I invite you to address our students. So, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Bindu ma'am. That was a wonderful welcome and introduction. Thank you very much. And also the introduction to the college, which we know is a very prestigious institution. And I am very fond of MCMDAV. I have been associated for the past many years with your activities, and many a time I have spoken at your auditoriums, sometimes in the recent past at webinars, and always a pleasure to connect with the students and the faculty of MCMDAV College, Chandigarh. We also know that it is an award-winning college with many famous alumni and very successful alumni, and I'm sure that the college will continue to produce the best talent in the years to come. And joining me is Mr. Vipin Pabbi, who will speak later after this, and he's a very close friend and a wonderful human being, former editor of the Indian Express, very senior journalist, also a professor at Shuren University. I'm sure you'll introduce him later, and a very cheerful person. Despite being from journalism, there is no cynicism. That's the best part about Mr. Pabbi, that despite being from journalism, he's not a cynical person at all. And sometimes in the media, it is a given fact that you become a little caustic, even very critical at times. But he is very balanced, always. And therefore, he and I will try to motivate the motivators of today who are present here. And this is an initiative by Suvichar think tank, which consists of eminent people like Mr. Pabbi, and General VP Malik is our chairman, former army chief. We have Mr. VK Kapoor, Mrs. Neelam Man Singh, Mrs. Neena Singh, Mr. Ashok Tandon, Professor Rajneesh Vatas, Mr. Jyoti Kamal, Mr. Samir Jain, Mr. Samir Goel, and Mr. ML Sareen, senior advocate, and some others also, Dr. Bali, Dr. HK Bali, very eminent people. So basically the initiative is for creating a network of motivators, getting youngsters to motivate society, especially at a time when the mood is a little low and people are going through uncertain feelings. And because when we started this initiative about maybe 40 days ago, things were worse and people were really in turmoil and were losing people in their circle. It was a terrible time, and we were happy to have provided some balm and motivation with a series of webinars. And this is the latest one which we are doing with you. Now, coming to the topic itself, why are we planning this motivation for motivators? Because motivators are needed in the society. There is a quote, "Be an encourager. The world is full of critics already." So joining the ranks of the critics is no big deal. To say something negative about anything is very easy. You know, the Shatabdi doesn't run on time, the country doesn't work efficiently, the newspaper is always full of negativity, the TV news is even worse. Of course, it is even worse. But to be negative all the time there is no point. And society often chooses negativity, even though it can choose positivity. It is our personal choice actually, but also our collective choice. As a nation, if you look at the happiness index across the world, And of course, Bhutan has probably adopted happiness index as its policy. Instead of GDP, they calculate happiness index, which means that they see what is the contribution of the economy or the system or the government or the people towards the ultimate aim of life, which is happiness of people. So it is very important to see that some nations are, by nature, they are bitter. They are generally bitter. You know, you can't blame a Russian for being bitter because it's freezing cold. They are always in the dark. And let us be very frank, there is no democracy there. You can't blame him. In India, we always have a mixed bag. Sometimes things are good, sometimes things are not so good. And at times we become overly bitter when we don't need to. At times we become overly critical when we can refrain from being overly critical. Most of you students have heard me before, but as you know, I have been speaking on motivation, inspiration, and emotional intelligence. And I've been talking about the 7 C's and giving formulas for motivation. But today I'll just tell you a few stories. And Mr. Pabbi will also share some stories later. The point being that we need to pick up this inspiration and positivity from wherever we can. And the aim is that all of you girls and whoever is watching this webinar, you become motivational personalities in turn. You don't have to join the ranks of the demotivated, negative, bitter people. And life is full of ups and downs. I cannot tell you that you will have a smooth life ahead or a rosy bed ahead. Everything will be up and down. That's okay. We are all human beings living in an unpredictable world. Unpredictability like this pandemic. Who could talk about it 5 years ago or even 3 years ago? That something like this will happen. And we will be locked up and we will have to change our lifestyles. Today, Mr. Pabbi and I would have been in your auditorium and you would have been packing the auditorium. And instead of motivation, we may have been talking about some other topic because it may not be that much required. But here, we are in the middle of a crisis still, and it is unpredictable, no doubt. But can we have predictability and calmness and stability in the middle of turbulence and turmoil and difficult times? Yes, we can. It is a choice that you, I, Mr. Pabbi, Bindu ma'am, Ashish, anyone who is involved in life makes a choice. I will be a bitter person or I will be a better person depending on my outlook. It is a personal choice, you must admit. Of course, there are difficulties. Exams are uncertain, degrees coming later, job is uncertain, life is uncertain, don't know what's going to happen later. Of course, we also passed through the same phase when we were studying. We didn't know what we are going to be doing. No idea. No idea. I wanted to play cricket for India. That was my childhood dream. I played till under 19. And then I had to go to engineering. And my father rightly said, do engineering, don't focus on cricket anymore. Because had I played for India by the age of 18, it was okay. Or looking like that. So it is unpredictable what we do. I resigned from the IAS 3 years ago because I wanted to be a speaker. I never thought I'll resign from the IAS. Nobody resigns from the IAS. So we have to accept unpredictable change and be calm within. We have to be motivated enough to be calm from within. That means that I will not allow disturbances to rattle me and scare me and worry me beyond a point. आप समझ रहे मेरी बात? Overdo नहीं करना कुछ भी, overthinking नहीं करना है. No over worrying, over negativity, over scared feelings. We have to be, of course we are human, and girls, boys, anyone can feel low once in a while. कभी कभी, थोड़ी देर के लिए. No point in feeling low the whole month or the whole year. There's no point. Don't be like that. Even the worst of happenings, you will get over them with time. And little things. You know, my daughter also studied in MCM, Spriha, a few years ago. And she says to me, she says to the younger one also, Kavya, who is a little, not spoiled, but she is younger. So she will say, whenever we say, oh, this is a problem, she'll say, Papa, this is a first world problem. Now, what is the first world problem? First world problem is कि पिज्जा टाइम पे नहीं आया, चैनल आ नहीं रहा जो आप देखना चाह रहे हैं, वो टीवी खराब हो गया, या वो फ्लाइट लेट हो गई, या जो आपका जो गुलाब जामुन है वो आज उतना मजा नहीं आया जितना पिछली बार आया था. These are not really problems of life, are they? These are first world problems, which means these are only the problems of those who are already comfortable in life. You are comfortable in life basically. Of course, the career is uncertain, but these are problems or little problems, similar things. ये तो मैं थोड़ा सा story type exaggeration कर रहा हूँ. But you might be worried about even things like वो आंटी जो neighborhood वाली आंटी है, उन्होंने कुछ बोल दिया आपको परसों कि बेटी मुझे पता है तुम लोग पढ़ते वढ़ते नहीं हो, पता नहीं तुम्हारा क्या होगा आगे. उनकी बेटी भी है और आप भी हैं, मान लो, दोनों के बारे में उन्होंने एक जनरल रिमार्क पास कर दिया, पता नहीं तुम लोगों का क्या होगा आगे, फ्यूचर बड़ा डार्क है. वो आंटी तो सो गई जाके आफ्टर सेइंग सच थिंग्स, बट यू आर कीपिंग अवेक, वरिंग, फ्रेटिंग, टेंस. Forget that what she said. Accept only positivity. Don't overthink about things which people think. So one of the things when I was growing up, to share with you, that I had to avoid, I could not avoid that much, was what will people think? I cannot be motivated if I keep thinking what will so and so think, what will so and so think, what will she think of me, what will he think. Of course I have to be within limits in society. I can't go wild. Society is full of limitations for us. But I can be myself within that limitation. I don't need to keep awake at night thinking क्या होगा, क्यों उसने ऐसे बोला मुझे, वो क्या सोच रही है, सोच रहा है, कोई फायदा नहीं. So I think in a nutshell what you need to do is the following. I'll tell you 2 or 3 ideas. One idea is to become a cheerful encourager yourself. You will notice that your physical, mental and spiritual progress will take place. Your body will be healthy, your mind will be healthy, your spiritual progress will also take place, which is also important. We are a combination of body, mind and soul. We need to be cheerful in order to be progressing in life. Cheerfulness is a choice. So the first thing to adopt is be a cheerful personality. You will get goodwill, you will get respect, you will get love from others if you are generally cheerful. Generally रोंदू टाइप नहीं बनना है. ये मैं सारे स्टूडेंट्स को ऐसे बताता हूँ तो उनको ज्यादा समझ आता है. You are of course college girls, school kids understand like this कि वो रोंदू टाइप जो बच्चा है आपकी क्लास में वैसा नहीं बनना आप, कि वो हर चीज पे रोना. मिस्टर पब्बी को पता है कि बड़े होके भी कई लोग रोंदू टाइप होते हैं. They cannot get over their nature because they formed it in school or college or where they were growing up, and they will always be bitter, always crying, always complaining. Don't be like that. Please don't be like that. We need a future of cheerful people. Shrug off little problems. Major problem कोई आती है तो ठीक है, उसको tackle करो, pray करो, and have empathy for those who are not as lucky as you. So as a motivator, what can you do for society? You can go out there and talk cheerful. You can write, post only cheerful things. Share, forward only cheerful posts. Humor, inspiration, Rumi, Thich Nhat Hanh, Paramahansa Yogananda. These are great writers to quote. Read them, quote them. Quotes आते रहते हैं अच्छे वाले, उनको choose करो. Share them on your post. Don't say ये ठीक नहीं है, वो ठीक नहीं है, कोई फायदा नहीं है उसका. Then be good to your family. Be warm with your mother, father, sister, brother, and your close friends, because don't take them for granted. They are your closest people. Be at your best with them. Then the last request that I have is Create a network of 10, 20, 30 people whom you know, who you will try to motivate in this difficult time. Friends, uncles, aunties, older people don't have anybody to talk to at times. दादा दादी बैठे हैं चुपचाप, उनको जाके बात करो, listen to them, let them tell you stories of 1948. सुनो, कोई बात नहीं, थोड़ा टाइम लगाओ. And spending time listening to people who are a little tense is a great activity for you to do. So become a motivator, like Mr. Pubby and I, we are trying to motivate you. You become a motivator for others. And this initiative will have a ripple effect. शूलिनी यूनिवर्सिटी सोलन के साथ भी हमने ऐसे ही वेबिनार किया. हमने उनको यही गाइड किया कि आप मोटिवेटर्स बनो. And we have a lot of motivational activities going on. MCM DAV is a great institution. The students of MCM can become motivators for the whole of society. Record short videos, post good stuff, say that everything will be good, pray for others. Praying for others is also a motivational activity. And don't spend only 2 minutes praying. Meditation and prayer should be more than 10, 20, 30 minutes per day. Then you will find that calmness and peace within also. So I've given a longish speech, Mr. Pubby ka time thoda sa I think I've taken, but I wanted to just share with you all this. You can connect with me on Instagram or LinkedIn. Send me a message if you are feeling uncertain. I always reply. And no problem. But always remain inspired and motivated. And I'll have to leave sharp at 12:15. So I'll listen to Mr. Pubby for 10 minutes. Thank you very much. All the best and stay connected and stay motivated. And thank you, Bindu ma'am and MCM for inviting us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your such a beautiful and small talk. But I think you have rightly shared your wisdom regarding the lessons of the life, and you have rightly said that there are two aspects, positive and negative. Both these contents are there in the world. So we have to make the right choices. And if we make right choices, we move in the right direction. And you have absolutely correctly focused that overthinking is something which is the main culprit. Sometimes this overthinking stops us from moving in the right direction. Mind chattering, I think, obstructs our positive thinking.
Yes.
So, sir, I'm really grateful to you that you have spared your time and you have organized this webinar. And we are so grateful that you have shared your words of wisdom with our participants. Thank you very much, sir. Now I invite our next distinguished speaker. He's Mr. Vipin Pubby, an ex-resident editor, Indian Express, Chandigarh, and presently he's Dean of Mass Communication and Journalism at Cheerful University, Solan. Mr. Vipin Pubby is the author of widely customized. Sir, political analyst of high repute. While serving the Indian Express over a span of 36 years, he remained editor of its various editions for a record period of 18 years. Prior to his retirement, he had served as editor of newspaper in Jammu and Kashmir and Gujarat. Mr. Vipin Pubby is the author of the widely acclaimed book Shimla, Then and Now, a book on the summer capital of British Raj, an Indian's perspective. The book chronicles the history of pre- and post-independent India. In addition to his contribution to this book, he has also contributed various chapters to various books and anthologies. Besides this, Sir is an active member of Public Relations Council of India, Chandigarh chapter. Sir, we extend a warm welcome to you and a virtual bouquet of respect and admiration. And I request you, sir, to share your words of wisdom with our participants. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Bindu Dogra,
Thank you very
Vivek
much.
ji, and all the staff members and dear students who are here today. And I see them in very large number. I think the limit is 100 and they're almost reaching that. And in fact, at times they've actually done it 100. And I am sure a lot of others would be watching on YouTube. Thank you again for having me here. In fact, my association with MCM DAV College goes back to about 40 years when Mrs. Roy was the principal, and I was a reporter with Indian Express, so I had a lot of opportunities to visit the college and participate in various functions, discussions, and cover events. So it's a very, very long association with the college. It's certainly one of the leading colleges and has great name and great credibility. And that's a very wonderful thing to be here talking to the students. As Vivek ji said, maybe if it was not lockdown and all that, we would have loved to be in the college campus and sitting in one of those familiar auditoriums, I would say. Anyway, for now, that is the situation, and here we are. And Vivek ji, of course, as you all know, and you've experienced also, is a great gift of gab. He speaks so well. He's a TEDx speaker. So maybe I'll not be able to match that much, but I will just relate to you a few incidents and about the life and all that, life and times right now. And there is just no doubt about it that the current times are the most critical and tough times, and particularly these times are tough for the students, and students, particularly those who are just passing out of schools and who have just entered the universities and colleges. Very, very difficult times, but I'm sure you have to have a positive aspect to that, and that is that if you could face all these difficulties and tough times with courage and motivation, you are set for life. Because if you have passed through these difficult times, I'm sure you have got hardened, battle hardened, I would say, and you are there to take on life and lead life as it comes. So in a way, if you have to see it from positive point of view, it's actually good in the sense that you have all been toughened up, and you have certainly definitely bright prospects, just like India and the world has. I am, as Mr. Vivek Atrey said, a very optimistic person, and I see that whatever, there is always something good that is happening. Maybe it's hidden, maybe right now we don't realize it, but it is something that is good for us, for everyone concerned, and good will come out of it. So have faith in that thing. As regards motivation, yes, certainly, this is a very wonderful series that has been started by the think tank, so which are on motivating the motivators, and each one of you and all those who are listening and other students like you, all of them need to be, this is a time when you need to want to be or should become motivators. Now that is why we thought that we will try to interact with as many students as possible to tell them that how important it is, and how you all need to set an example and keep others motivated. I'll tell you a little anecdote, maybe a story, and that story is about a little ancient times though, that there was an elephant with a king, and that elephant was massive elephant and very battle hardened elephant. He would lead all the battles for the king and would win a large number of battles, and the king was very happy with him. But as he grew older, the king took him off from battlefield and just let him be on his own. So what happened one of those days that the elephant, a huge elephant, he somehow got into a muddy area, and he began to sink. And it was a quicksand kind of an area, and there was no way to pull him out. He tried his best to pull himself out of that, but he could not. After all, he had grown old. And who would pull an elephant out? There were no cranes, of course, at that time. Even cranes would not have helped. So what was the way out? Everyone was so worried as to what to do with this kind of situation. As the elephant was going down, he would have died. It was at that time that somebody wise man said that there is one way you can rescue him. And everyone said, okay, let's tell us what is the way out. And it says that let bring out a war cry, a trumpeter, those who lead the war and have those trumpets blowing. You blow that up, that might motivate the elephant to try to stand up, which he has not been able to do that so that far. And that's exactly what happened. And when the trumpeters were brought in and war cry was given, he got up slowly and was rescued and saved. The thing is that this high motivation level has to be maintained and has to be kept, sustained. And you are the people, you are the youngsters I'm addressing. You are the people who can take this message further and spread the word. I would like to point out at one particular point. Mr. Vivek Atrey has covered several points already, but one point that I want to really emphasize is counting your blessings. Now, this is a very, very important thing that all of you must keep in your mind. Count your blessings. Don't see the negative part of it, see the positive part of it, how blessed you are. Can you count your blessings? I think it is very, very difficult to count all your blessings. There are so many of them. So my suggestion, one of my suggestions would be every day, count a few of your blessings. You can't count all, maybe 10, 12, 15, and see how it impacts you and your life. I would say that, you and me and every one of you are, able to talk and have education on laptops, on mobiles, and computers. Just think of how many lakhs and lakhs of students have been deprived of it. How you have been, of course, confined to your houses. How lakhs and lakhs had to trudge miles together, or have lost their jobs, or have disconnected from job opportunities, or have gone down further to below the poverty line. Just imagine how many of those people are leading a very, very tough life. So you need to thank God, thank Almighty, and also to see that, how you need to really motivate. Mr. Vivek Atrey was saying just now something I really liked, is that there are a lot of people around you who are feeling depressed, who are feeling, dejected, mainly because they don't have anywhere to go, nobody to listen, particularly the senior citizens. So if you devote some time of your daily routine, could be half an hour, could be 1 hour, go to some neighborhood uncles and aunties, or in your own home, certainly, that needs to be the priority. You must go and spend time with them. That is one thing that you can and everyone can do. So that I would request each one of you to take out some time, switch off your mobile, take some time out, half an hour, 1 hour. Not only that you will be helping that person, in return you will be helped tremendously. Because after all, these older people have seen life, and there's a wealth of information that they have, wealth of knowledge that they have, and they can relate to you their experiences. And as I said, you learn from them their life stories. How interesting are those life stories, full of struggles and everywhere. So I think this is very important. I would request each one of you to spare at least 1 hour out of those 24 hours every day to motivate people, to motivate your friends, your relatives, particularly the adults, and also the younger kids. I know it is just as it is very, very difficult for you to stay at home under this lockdown and having online classes. There are a lot of youngsters who it's time for them to go out and play and have company, which unfortunately is not possible these days. As a director with the Shulini University and heading the journalism department, there is hardly a day when I don't receive a call from one student or the other saying university kab khulegi, because they're so very keen to come out. This is what they were really looking forward to. And we also, as educationists and in the university that I work, we strongly believe that a lot of education takes place outside the classroom. It is very, very important that you meet your peers, your classmates, your colleagues, your seniors, your juniors, and a lot of knowledge that you gain is from them. So a lot of education happens outside the classrooms, and therefore I keep telling them that yes, we are also missing you. It's not the same, the way we used to teach in the classroom. It's not the same that it's online. So everyone is looking for it. Thankfully, the situation is improving. At least, there is no third wave as yet. Hopefully, it doesn't take place, and campuses reopen. That is really something that we all look forward to. But till then, whatever happens, try to make the best part of it. Try to do, whatever we can do out of that. We should utilize this time in helping out others, in motivating others, in bringing life and joy into others. One or two points I would just like to make before the time runs out. One is that it is very, very important to pay compliments. I had been telling Mr. Vivek Atrey about what I do, and I think it is something that maybe some of you could take on. And that is paying compliments. I think it is a very, very important task to pay compliments. I make it an attempt every day to pay at least a couple of compliments somewhere, well-deserved compliments, not just and not just to do it for the sake of it, but to genuinely pay compliments. So if there is a good news report that has come out, you call up the reporter or the organization or write a note or something else. Similarly, if somebody has done a good job, good work, all these compliments. And if your friends, family members, and others in your acquaintances have done something good job, you must compliment, because that leads to more compliments, one to another. Just as a smile in the morning, brightens up somebody else's day, and he or she brightens up further 10 maybe people, and they influence others. So it's contagious. So start your day with smile, your first hour with a lot of happiness, spread that happiness across, and see that, people try to relax a bit, whatever, in these circumstances, what could do. But it is important that you compliment people, you smile, you keep their morale high. This is something that doesn't cost anything, but it gives you. There is another part of it, is that, it is, you derive more happiness when you are complimenting someone, or you are smiling or providing happiness to someone. You are the also a big beneficiary of that. So it is important that you imbibe those things, you spread those things. I think I will conclude by giving one instance of how certain things in life, actually change a person's perspective, and perhaps he or she influences maybe several others by whatever had happened with him or her at some particular point of time. So my example is that of Mr. Arun Shourie. I am sure all of you must have heard of him. Mr. Arun Shourie is one of the greatest journalists India has produced. Thorough gentleman, thorough learned person. He has come out with at least 20 odd books. A wonderful speaker. And he was the editor-in-chief of Indian Express when I joined. He was a very, very junior person at that time, a staff reporter. I'm very happy that I have his association. I keep meeting him off and on even now. But that was the time I can never forget about something. And I've told him also the same thing, that this is what happened. And I was just about a year or two into the profession. I'm very greenhorn. And so I went to Delhi for some work, and I thought I must go to the office and meet some of the people. So I said, okay. So I met some people, some colleagues there, and then suddenly I thought, why not meet the editor-in-chief also? It was almost unthinkable at that time for a Sipahi to meet the army chief or the DGP. But I said, okay, let me take a chance and say that just the courtesy call to him. So I left a message with this PA. I thought it will be very, very difficult for him to, come out and spare time for me. But I still left a message that, I would like to pay a courtesy call to the editor-in-chief. Within a couple of minutes, the PA said, yes, he is waiting for you inside. So please go and meet him. I was a little taken back, but I went there. So I opened the door and I find Mr. Arun Shori standing near the door, waiting to receive me. And just imagine a very, very young person at that time being received by editor-in-chief or the army general. And he took me in. He listened to whatever I had to say. He complimented me on some of my stories which might have been published. He gave a few tips. Then he offered me tea and all that. So it was a chit chat. And he said that good that you had come here and met. So it is nice meeting you. I said, thank you so much. I don't want to take much of your time. I just came to pay my respects. He said, okay, that's fine. And then as I started walking back to the door, he again got up from his chair and led me to the door. I mean, this gesture from a person, such a humble gesture from a person whom the government feared. At that time, Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi and everyone feared him because he was such a strong journalist. He would expose so much and people would really tremble before him, and here he was leading me out the room. So that had a very big impact on my career, on my future life, on my attitude in life. When I became the editor, and I remained, as Dr. Dogra said, for 18 years, I made it a point, any visitor to my office, whether I can do anything for him or her or not, I will myself receive the visitor at the door and see him or her off at the door and extend all possible courtesies. So it is something that, at times unknowingly, unwittingly, but naturally you are doing something and you are changing people's lives. This is what had happened. And this is how, lives are impacted. So you don't know where your lives will be impacted. We have our Vice Chancellor now, Professor Atul Khosla in Shulin University. And he also had a similar experience. He said he is an IIT, an ex-IIT, and he said only one experience that changed my life was a lecture and a non-academic lecture. So these things do happen. What I would like to just underline before I close is that every one of you must motivate, must spread happiness, cheer. I know it is in difficult times, but this is actually the time when it is all our responsibility, our duty towards the society to contribute and make it a more positive place. These are tough times, but these tough times have made you tough, and so I'm sure this thing will pay off in future. That's about all that I would like to say. If there is anything that you would like me to answer, I'll be happy. Back to you, Dr. Bindu Dogra.
Thank you very much, sir, for motivating our participants. And you have rightly said that we have to follow the process of showing gratitude. I think we should begin our day with showing gratitude. And when we start counting our blessings, we know that how blessed we are. And sometimes there are numerous blessings which we take for granted. So we don't count them. So if we start counting them, definitely we will develop positive attitude and we will lead our life in a more comfortable way. And I really agree with you that the best way of spreading happiness is, giving compliments to others and showing compassion towards others. So if you give genuine compliments to others, definitely you add a smile, you add a moment, a very precious moment of happiness in the life of another person. So we really take your advice, sir, and we are so thankful to you that you have shared your words of wisdom with our participants, and in a very, very effective way, you have also shared your personal experiences with us. And before extending a formal vote of thanks, I request all the participants to please switch on your cameras so that we can have a group photograph. Yes, dear participants, just for a second. Yes, thank you very much. Although we are not left with much time, but if there are any queries, I request the participants, if they have any questions, they can unmute themselves or they can write in the chat box. Yes, dear participants, if you have any questions or any queries. Sir, on a YouTube channel, actually we are live streaming the session. So our participant, Dr. D.S. Chima, I think he's Colonel D.S. Chima.
Yes, Colonel.
Writing, yeah, a lot of appreciation for you. So I just thought of conveying the wishes to you.
Thank you. And he's also himself a great speaker. So I think you must call him one of those days. He has a lot of experience, and he would certainly give good advice to you.
Thank you very much, sir. Definitely. And thank you very much, Colonel D.S. Chima, for viewing this program and giving your comments and best wishes to our resource person and our participants. Thank you very much. Yes, we are telecasting this program on YouTube channel. It will be there. So those who have missed it, they can watch it there. Okay, so now I extend the formal vote of thanks. So I want to convey my heartfelt thanks to our resource persons, Mr. Vivek Atrey and Mr. Vipin Poppy, for taking out time to be with us and sharing their valuable experiences and aptly guiding our participants regarding how to lead a positive and motivated life. So I'm grateful to my colleagues and my seniors who have joined us. There are some participants who have joined from other colleges also. So I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all those who have joined from different colleges, from different schools. There are some people who have joined from schools also. So I just want to convey my heartfelt gratitude to them. And I want to convey my gratitude to our worthy principal madam for constantly guiding and motivating us for such endeavors and spreading happiness and motivation in the college. And last and not the least, I want to convey my heartfelt thanks to our team members, organizing team members, Mr. Ashish, Ms. Preeti Gambhir. So they have put in a lot of efforts to organize this event, and the dear students who have patiently heard to all these things, and they have expressed their views also. And sir, they're also showing their gratitude in the chat box. They are writing their messages. So thank you very much, sir, for sparing your time. And definitely, we would like to have you, offline kind of session. So most likely in the coming times, we will open up the colleges, we will have the students in our classes, and we will have a very, offline kind of session where we can interact with you in person on these matters. So thank you.
It will be a pleasure. Certainly, it will be a pleasure. I'll look forward to that.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.